the hospital bed. I don't know. As we load into Hardwire LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have a pink Protoss player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. He is the best Protoss player from Hong Kong, but arguably the second best player overall in that particular region. Can he prove us wrong here? Can he shake that off? Can he dethrone his opponent, who is regularly considered to be the best player from Hong Kong? We'll find out. Representing Juggernaut Gaming, he is Bistork.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Hong Kong Zerg player, the best player in all of Hong Kong, also representing the Juggernauts. Going for a 12 pool, it is GogojOey.
No.
Yep, as immediately we have 6 things on the way here. Thankfully, Bistork did go for a probe scout, so he's well aware of what is coming his way. He should be at home walling off. He even opened up, oh my god, with 2 gates. Yeah.
As safe as can be, even as the probe in position to throw down a Cybercore just in case. Well, I was going to say a Cybercore just in case, but actually he needs a Cybercore. I didn't even register in my head when you said he's getting 2 gates. I was like, that's cool.
God damn it, Yaku. Maybe you aren't alive. I don't know, mate.
Help, I'm alive.
As the Zealot is being chronoed out, in a couple of seconds it will pop out, and it looks like it will come out just in time to block off that wall.
Moved out of position for just a second, but thankfully Bistork did reposition it, and GogojOey does not want to take his chances of trying to fight that Zealot yet, not when it can still retreat to a much more defensible location. 4 Link's not really doing much. He's trying to sort of bait the Zealot out of position. Will he do it? Not quite.
You say not much. The second Zealot comes out, but this gateway is incredibly low. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, the Zealots that were idling.
Yeah, GogojOey, he wants it. He does get a lot of damage done on that Zealot, but it looks like Bistork should be able to escape with them all. Up.
His Zealot will go down. I'm surprised that Zergling still survived, but the Adepts do come out in time.
And this is a dangerous moment, because Bistork, he's pulling the trigger, he's going to go across the map with what he has. Gas has been delayed, which means speed was delayed. What do we have at home to defend? We have some queens, but oh my god, Bistork is just doubling down with the aggression.
What's that Juno reverse card? Jeez.
Huh?
Adepts do get in position, but they're fighting the queens for now. Not quite going into the mineral lines. One of them getting dangerously low!
Oh my god, exactly. But you know what? It survives. The queens of creep are incredibly slow. We do have a shield battery on the way, but we do have a cancel. There are plenty of links here to deal with this pylon. It should not stay up for much longer.
I love the idea for what Bistork was going for.
Huh?
Counter... doing complete 180 with not just counter harass, but kind of a counter contain at that.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, now there are 3 Adepts who they're able to take out one of the workers, a second worker as well, and they can always just keep threatening the shade into the main base.
Get on top of that weakened queen if they want to. A lot of spore crawlers are forced to be made just to save the Adepts.
Mate,
and it doesn't seem like much because he does cancel them, but it does stack up in addition to the 4 drone kills.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's an insane amount of damage that's been dealt here. Another drone goes down. Finally, everything gets cleaned up. But again, so much damage was done here. Bistork still kind of down when it comes to the workers, but again, dealing so much damage. Worth me.
And you can get away with being down in workers as a Protoss player. At least a little bit down.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I was really curious about something here because we didn't see link speed in production, and Bistork saw that. Did he notice? It's kind of a hard thing to notice, but we see why link speed was skipped.
Jumping immediately into that lair. 3 gases are going to be taken right now for GogojOey, so it's not the most ideal for Aspire, but he can still get it. There we go, there's the off gas.
Exactly, mate. All 4 gases have been taken. GogojOey being incredibly greedy here, skipping all the corners. We'll see if he gets punished for it, because we did have a Stargate opener. We're going to have an Oracle and Glaive Adepts, sorry, regular Adepts coming across the map. And GogojOey doesn't have a lot to defend. He's got slow lings, but mate, they're slow lings.
Yeah, eventually gonna get some Hydras, but they are gonna be vanilla Hydras by the time Bistork hits. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to kite without muscular augments. It's gonna be a lot more difficult to just attack in general without groove spines.
Meanwhile, Bistork, he has not scouted this yet. Again, the goal of this Oracle, other than just dealing damage, is to scout the Hydra Den. It's going to be so important for him to get eyes on it, because then he's going to realize, okay, I need to commit to a more Grand Platypus army, and he does see. Uh-oh. Oh, no!
And
no!
he does a lot more than see.
Ay. 5 drones get picked off, mate. Again!
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the biggest of deals, but considering all the damage done earlier on, the fact that Bistork is almost up 10 workers from GogojOey, it is absolutely massive. Bistork getting muscular augments now. He's working on, or GogojOey, sorry, is working on his Hydra army, but he's gonna have considerably less to work with than otherwise.
A supply block as well. He's forced to make 3 overlords. Like, GogojOey's in a really rough place. I will say that it feels like Bistork is being a little bit greedy. It looks like he wants to go straight into Disruptors or Colossus with this fast robo, instead of trying to wait for, say, like, a charge upgrade or something like that with a Twilight Council.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a different approach you can take after doing as much damage as Bistork has done. Might as well just, you know, double down on what you have, because you have the time to do so.
Exactly, and we shall see what it's going to be. Yep, there's a Robotics Bay. A little bit unclear whether it's going to be Disruptors or Colossus, but honestly, either one is going to work amazing. I feel like Colossus is probably better against just pure Ling Hydra because there are no roaches. Regardless, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer for Bistork. Regardless of what he goes for, it's like, well, this is what he needs, right? Because he's scouted, he knows how kind of vulnerable and how lackluster GogojOey's army is going to be.
Yeah, typically we see Disruptors as the option from the Zerg player, but or the Protoss player, sorry, but as you said, because GogojOey is so invested in Hydras and so invested in Lings, Colossus can still absolutely shred through those light units.
Exactly, mate. The Hydras have been confirmed. The Voidrays, they poke in a little bit here, and now, again, we still have equal workers from both players, equal bases as well. Now, we're going to get our answer. What is it going to be? The Robotics Bay finally finished up. We have a second Robo on the way for double production. And we still don't... Oh, it is going to be that Disruptor.
Alright, then. Perhaps arguably not as reliable as the Colossus, but considering all the creep spread that's been taken out, it will still be a little difficult for GogojOey to micro and split his army if he fights off a creep.
Oh yeah, definitely. Speaking of fighting off a creep, now GogojOey, his big goal right now is to try and take a 4th base. He does just throw one down, but Bistork, he's going to be rotating around to that location, and it's going to be a bit of a big task for GogojOey to keep this alive.
It really will. Hopefully he rotates around. There we go.
Yeah.
As Bistork grabs a 4th of his own. So whether or not he kills a 4th of GogojOey, he's still going to be ahead.
Yeah, exactly. He's headed in that direction. We have a couple of queens here, but again, looking at the queen count, we only have 5, 3 of which are currently injecting as well. They do rotate around though, but look at how many Void Rays there are. It's not going to take long for them to just focus Prismatic down that hatchery.
I'm just waiting for it. They are honestly at a pretty good angle to do so if they wanted to, but Bistork has much bigger fish to fry. He wants to go for the hive.
He wants it, but he's not going to get it. The Hydras come in just in time to protect the hive. Meanwhile, again, he wasted a lot of time there in the main base, not here at the 4th, so he's going to have to take some time to mow through these queens. And the Hydras, where are they going?
It feels like a bit of an all-army move, but thankfully, GogojOey is able to split up his Hydra force. he will be able to deal with the Void Race regardless of whether they go to the main or the 4th base location. I say that, but he just evacuated all his Hydras from the main.
He did. That's the thing, right? Like, GogojOey barely had any queens to work with, and they all just got reset. At least they gave their lives for a 4th base, which is worth it, to be honest. But again, like, GogojOey, he is kind of struggling to defend his bases, and he doesn't really have much momentum to, like, push out across the map.
He doesn't, but at the same time, he's still working on rounding up his army. Vipers came out earlier on and just sucking on as much youth juice as they can. And Hydra Viper, that's about 80% or 60% of what you need. The other 40% is Lurkers, which GogojOey is working towards.
Yeah, he is working on that Hydra Lurker Viper. It's taking him a while to get there, but he is on the way. Meanwhile, what do we have at home? Unfortunately, we have a second Robotics Bay being thrown down. I feel like this is probably meant to be a Templar Archives. I feel like...
No, he's getting double upgrades.
Yeah.
Observer and Warp Prism Speed. Let's go!
So this will mean that Storm is going to be very delayed. So, a bit of a yikes there moment for Bistork, but maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe.
Maybe. Honestly, without Storm, this does give GogojOey a lot more opportunity than otherwise. So, like you said, depending on how the engagements work out, not having Storm can either be no big deal, or it can be the one thing that costs Bistork the game.
Yeah, especially because Bistork, fun fact, he only made 2 disruptors and then he stopped. He has not made any more.
He doesn't have much splash damage.
Exactly. He's got 2 Novas, and even then he may not have 2 Novas because the Vipers are going to be looking to yoink them.
Or he can just back away. Purification Nova's back on cooldown. GogojOey wants to fight this. Yoinks a couple of carriers, tries to target him down. And he does get 2 of them, almost 3. Very expensive losses here for the side of Bistork.
Yeah, exactly. Bistork, he's struggling to keep up here. And again, he's fighting outside of range of his sack defense. The cannons, the shield batteries, they're not coming into play at all. Every single disruptor gets taken out. The Void Rays are trying to go toe-to-toe here with the Hydras. The Interceptors are running out. And it looks like, oh, just barely Bistork has too much.
He does. That results in going to be even more trouble here for GogojOey, but he's already looking to remax. Unfortunately for Joey, he doesn't have Lurkers out just yet.
Yeah.
Hasn't really had the opportunity to morph them in.
Exactly, but it looks like the reinforcements are going to be enough here for GogojOey to push back our Protoss player. Bistork turns around. Yeah, I don't know if this is the best move here for him, especially because the Vipers did just reset their energy. They're going to be looking for those yoinks.
It's one observer, man. It's gonna move so much.
Oh god, it really is. The disruptors are coming out. We have the abducts of the carriers, but here we go. Show us the Novas.
One of them gets a decent connection, but I'm not convinced it's gonna be enough. These zealots, oh, it's really gonna bring it home though for Bistork.
Yeah, exactly. But Bistork doesn't want to overextend. No, he's going to lose the cells for free here. Bistork needs to calm down. He does finally have that Templar Archives on the way. Again, so incredibly late. He needs it desperately, not just for the High Templar, but also for Archons.
And really one of the best anti-Hydra unit you can get when it comes to fighting toe-to-toe.
Yeah, just whatever it takes, mate. Just storms, Archons, feedbacks, everything. Finally, the High Templar are being morphed in, but Bistork has honestly lost a lot already. If we quickly look here, he's lost 2 of the carriers, he's lost 10 Void Rays.
And GogojOey hasn't lost too much in comparison. He took a lot of damage early in the game, but it's safe to say he's more than recovered from that. He's at 85 drones. He's going up to 6 bases versus the 4 of Bistork.
Yeah, exactly.
Really found a good way of clawing himself back into this game.
Yep, immediately we do have a couple of yoinks. 2 disruptors get taken out for free. They didn't get a single shot off. Another abduct goes off. Finally, we have a feedback, but again, just a little bit too late.
But in a couple of seconds, Storm is gonna finish up. There are a couple of High Templars still here. And GogojOey doesn't have too much room to maneuver when it comes to splitting up his Hydras versus Storm. The engagement will end.
Yeah.
Sort backing away.
That 14-minute Storm timing, Jesus Christ. Yeah. But he's finally got it, and he does have enough energy for 2 Storms with this army. There are no Vipers as well. GogojOey deep off of creep here. Oh my god.
Massive risk, but it looks like it's gonna pay out as Bistork actually misses that army. He turns around immediately, and the question is, will GogojOey be able to get out of here? He's already done very good damage, taking out that 5th base. He actually doesn't have to retreat because here comes the flank.
Exactly, but mate, here come the storms. What flank was that, by the way? Only a handful of those hydras. The storms connect as well. All of these hydras are going to get cleaned up.
It was a Viper flank is what that was. Unfortunately. But so many carriers are starting to go down. The interceptors have just about run out on most of these carriers. Real good target firing from the side of GogojOey.
Yeah, exactly. I love the use of those hydras. He knew that they were dead, so he made sure he got as much value out of them as possible, killing 3 of those carriers in the end. Again, Bistork just kind of slipping up when it came to his warpins, when it came to his macro.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit too preoccupied to get enough warpins down. What happened to the lurkers? They're not in position.
Well, they died earlier. There were only 3 of them. So.
Oh, the lurkers? Oh, I did not realize it was only 3.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have lurkers are being remade here. Are they going to finish up just in time? It looks like they just barely will, but there's nothing on the ground for them to fight. Anyway, here we go. We do see a recall, and it looks like all the one carrier will get taken out.
Yeah, almost all of them. The parasitic bomb is still there, if I'm not mistaken. I was still in the army, so maybe eventually. I
was actually say all of them was going to escape, but no, they did not. No. As we do see, GogojOey was able to hold on. Bistork just hasn't been able to really break out in supply. He just keeps losing carriers, time after time after time.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about losing the carriers here. He does have to worry about potentially losing his base.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of awkward here. GogojOey has to push up a ramp into these cannons and shield batteries, and this is giving time for Bistork to respond, but he was very out of position.
He really was. Unable to recall towards this 4th base location either because he did use it up earlier. I like this from GogojOey. He's not overextending at all. He's just, establishing a little bit of a foothold with his lurkers, and then is going to slowly but surely reinforce from here. The lurkers are about to be taken out by the carriers. Oh, the High Templar get a little too close for comfort. Just a little bit.
For the High Templar already get taken out. Every single High Templar goes down. That was the final storm that he had available. He just warps in another round, but they don't have enough energy, and they're all getting taken out. No!
I was going to say, where's the detection? Well, the detection was there, but the interceptors were taken out by the Hydras. So even though Bistork knew about the lurkers, he just could not deal with them. Even the Archons having a bit of a tough time attacking into this location.
Yeah, exactly. The control there from Bistork was lacking, even though he had so many of those High Templar. He just moved a little bit too close to those lurkers. They all got taken out. Sure, he got like 1 good storm off, but 1 was not going to be enough. And now GogojOey is pushing on forward, and he is breaking Bistork.
Instantly remaxed. Bistork just struggling to get minerals and units as a result of that.
Yeah, exactly.
The interceptors.
Yep, there are no interceptors, there are only just naked carriers. The stack defense is not going to be enough. The pure Hydra army of GogojOey is working wonders for him. He's breaking through, getting another base. GG gets called.
GG gets called. I really thought Bistork had that game, man. It was looking so good right from the start, up until maybe around the 10-ish minute mark where GogojOey sort of recognized that Bistork was leaving him alone and decided to make the absolute best use of that time as he could.
Yeah, I do agree. I think for the first 10 minutes, Bistork was playing beautifully, but we saw things fell for him when he just his storm, his High Templar were incredibly delayed. Because of that, he didn't make up for it, right? He didn't make like extra waves of disruptors. He only ever made 2, right? He stopped that production completely, and yeah, just pure Skytoss really did struggle against the Hydras and the Vipers.
Funnily enough. You think you need Corruptors? Nah, mate. You think you need Infestors? Well, Infestors do help. But at the very core of anti-Skytoss for Zerg is Hydras, is Vipers. Everything else you get is just a supplement that those 2 units. It's almost like Marine Medevac, right? Everything. Or I guess more of Marine Tank.
Kind of. I mean, again, like
Hydra... Marine Tank is an anti-Skytoss, so...
Yeah, like Hydra, Lurker, Viper works well, like, but again, like, over time, the Protoss army, by the time they get more carriers and High Templar and Void Rays, that's when you have to try and diversify and get out Corruptors, but GogojOey never needed to. He never needed to switch. He was fine with the composition that he had.
It really was. Like, it would have been better. You could argue it would have been better if there were maybe more queens to transfuse, if there were infestors for microbial shroud, but like you said, did not need that at all.
Mm-hmm.
He recognized the weakness of Bistork's composition, and he just exploited that.
I don't know if he recognized the weakness. Like he was,
Well,
he was in a rough place.
He was kind of forced to go Mass Hydra at the start.
Yeah.
But after he got the lurker, even after he got the lurker, then he sort of realized there's not much of a ground army. I don't need that many lurkers. Oh, regardless, we are going to be continuing our series now on Pride of Altaris LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We have Automaton 2000 bot doing his best. And also the pink Protoss player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. He is the analyst himself, representing Juggernaut Gaming. He is Bistork.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the best player in all of Hong Kong, the Blue Zerg, representing the Juggernauts. It is GogojOey. And before we get too much into things, a massive shout out to Damp in the chat. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
He was letting us know that he enjoyed our casting during DreamHack.
Heart. Oh wait, you can't see the heart.
Yeah, less than. Oh wait, hold on.
I'm showing. I'm doing it.
Less than 3.
Less than 3. Oh wait, my webcam's off.
Oh good, mate. Oh good. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Of course, our casting for DreamHack has ended for the year. You know, there's only the season finals ahead of us, and we will be there for the qualifiers of DreamHack Last Chance. But the main event for DreamHack Last Chance doesn't have like a D, C, or B stream typically. So
yeah,
we will only be there for the qualifiers.
One.
It's like a weekend long event, you know.
Pretty much.
But yes, we appreciate it, and now we are here, and again, like, I was very impressed with Bistork's early game in game 1, not gonna lie.
As was I. It was a little bit shaky with how aggressive GogojOey was being with his pool first. He deflected that, and then had a really good idea that if it came to fruition, I think it would have ended the game then and there, but at the same time, it wasn't a game-ending move either for Bistork, where he got that pylon out and potentially tried to get a shield battery and just contain GogojOey from that position. Didn't work out, but regardless, he was still well ahead. He was getting so many drone kills with his follow-up oracles. It was insane. And then he just sort of gave GogojOey enough time to recover.
Yeah, you could also argue that maybe Bistork was a little bit too greedy with his army movement as well. If you remember, there was that one moment where I think he had like 6 or 7 Void Rays, and instead of denying the 4th base, he went straight into the main, where he met resistance with Spores and eventually the Hydras. Where if at that moment he had gone for the 4th instead, then again, he would have just kept GogojOey on 3 bases for that much longer. He would have had a bigger lead. It would have been a different game.
It really would have. But we got the game that we got. This is the current timeline that we are in.
This is true. This is very true, and we'll see how this game will go. The longest map in the entire map pool with the largest rush distance as well here on Pride of Altaris.
Which also has a gold base.
It does. It does have a gold. And Bistork has
I
eyes.
fully expect... Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like I expect Bistork to go for the gold more than GogojOey, but at the same time, we see how often GogojOey gets that gold on Blackburn, so maybe it's a similar thing on Pride.
It's also a thing where the gold base does favor Zerg players more than Protoss, just because minerals are more valuable to Zerg players. Unless you're Haas and you go Mass Zealot, but, I mean, that's Haas. It's a different story.
Very different story. Bistork has not yet been influenced by the weebness.
Not yet, not yet.
I promised you he will.
Yeah, and I kind of like this. He opens up with a Stargate and goes straight into double Stargate.
Ooh, once again gonna be... Well, I don't necessarily want to say doubling down for what he went for last game, but...
Mate.
Yeah, this is kind of his MO in PvZ.
Mate, you feeling Tempest? You feeling Tempest?
I'm feeling Tempest. 100. What else could it be? He stopped making Void Race.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna get carriers? He's not gonna get carriers.
So obviously it's not gonna be Void Race. It's not gonna be Flux Veins. People in the chat, place your bets. Is it going to be for carriers or for Tempest?
And if you say carriers, then I just want to let you know. Thank you for the channel points.
Oh god, here we go. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a queen push coming through the center of the map. The creep has already been extended. We have plenty more queens on the way, but it's not a big commitment. GogojOey is just kind of threatening his opponent, and we have our answer. It is carriers.
Well, that's more because he saw the queens in the middle of the map. Was concerned of the potential of a queen march, so yeah.
Sure.
He's getting carriers, and
I
he
can
may
smell
continue to get carriers.
I can smell the copium from here, mate.
But that was not his original intention. He was going to get Tempest, and then GogojOey ruined the plan.
Oh, God. Yaku, please. But yeah, GogojOey, of course, he was just feigning aggression with his queens. He already had a lair on the way, and we see why it is for him to go straight into Corruptors.
Which is also why Bistork is not feeling comfortable enough to go into Tempest. Even though he wanted to.
Yaku, he doesn't see any of this.
He knows. He knows.
God damn it, Yaku.
He's not getting Tempest, he knows.
As the Oracle is dipping in, he does get eyes on the lair, but he doesn't know if it's going to be a Hydrogen or a Spire yet. He does need a scout. Oh! And he sees?
And he's considering whether or not he can still go for Tempest, but he decides no.
God damn. Shaking my head, Yaku, but at least he did confirm. I'm sure he wants to dip in later on to make sure, you know, the Spire hasn't been cancelled or anything like that. And yeah, we'll see what Bistork has in store for us. I'm surprised that he hasn't stopped carrier production.
Well, I just told you, yeah, he wants to go for Tempest, but he can't.
Here we go. This is what I was waiting for. Flux Veins is on the way. So once he has, you know, these first handful of carriers out, he will be switching into those Void Rays to have, 1, a great time against Corruptors, 2, to have an okay response against Mutants.
Yeah, funnily enough, carriers aren't the best unit in the world against Mutalists. You can control your Mutas well enough, you can basically do the Hydra thing and take out the Interceptors before they're really a threat. Does require considerably more control though than Hydras.
It does. Oh boy, as the carriers are pushing out now, he has to be careful not to be caught out because we have 8 Corruptors on the way. The Queens are here as well, immediately trying to target down whatever they can. We have a couple of Biles and they do connect.
Just about every single one of them. Carriers down to almost no health. It's only going to take about 1 volley from the Corruptors to take it out. Another Bile lands, but it does land on a more healthy carrier. Nevertheless, these carriers are still just getting more and more weakened.
Yeah, that they are.
The Corruptors want them.
You know what though? The carrier didn't die, and because of that, GogojOey overextended. He's losing all of his queens. He wanted that carrier so badly, and now as a result, he lost everything.
Yeah, you can tell that he really wants to target that down, and he does, but will lose a couple of Corruptors in the process. These Void Rays did have Prismatic Alignment on top of them, and there aren't too many Corruptors out. Now GogojOey is starting to really pump up the Corruptor count.
Yeah, he is, but is it a little bit too late? Again, was he a little bit too greedy? Because you know what? Bistork, he is breaking through. All the Queens are falling. The Corruptors are falling one after the other. The Void Rays are getting a little bit distracted. If the Void Rays were with the main army, then maybe Bistork could just straight up break GogojOey. Regardless, look at all these workers. Look at this base falling.
And these roaches pushing across the map is really what's keeping GogojOey alive right now. He gets another Void Ray before the Corruptors fall. GogojOey doesn't quite get equalizing damage yet, but he does force a recall out of Bistork. He does buy himself a little bit of time to resaturate his whole base.
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, this roach run by is keeping GogojOey alive. If it wasn't for these roaches, then Bistork wouldn't have recalled. He would have stayed across the map, he would have rallied across the map, and again, it may have just been over for GogojOey. Thankfully, though, he's still in this, and he is re-droning and re-establishing his gold base.
And with that, gives him the opportunity to get more Corruptors out. Despite losing all of those drones earlier on, GogojOey is well ahead when it comes to the worker count. Oh, Void Rays are in the middle of the map. GogojOey wants to try to fight them. Not the best idea, and with these carriers approaching, he realizes I need to back the heck off.
Yeah, at least he did force Prismatic Alignment to be popped, so now it's not going to be available for the next fight that are going to include the Queens, the Spores, and the Corruptors, so it will force Bistork back, but ooh, Corruptors, mate, you got to back up your Queens.
Like so, a couple high NG Queens do get taken out. Transfuse is working overtime, but there's none left anymore here for GogojOey. These Spores are still up and running, and they're still adding a little bit of DPS against the Air Army, but they're mostly targeting Interceptors, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, that Archon put in a lot of work on those Corruptors earlier. Finally, the Archon does go down, but so did all the Spores, and now these Void Rays can just go ham on these Corruptors. Prismatic Alignment gets activated again.
GogojOey gives up so much ground here. Corruptors are going to pop up, but there is a bit of a period where they're isolated, where Bistork can just target them down one by one before GogojOey can regroup. And in all that time, he's still rallying Void Rays across the map, so...
Yeah, exactly. The base falls, 9 drones go down as well. I feel like GogojOey, he realizes the situation he's in. He's trying to pop out as many Corruptors and Queens as he can, but I think it may not be enough here. Especially Bistork, he doesn't have to keep pushing. He can just take out another base and just back off.
Well, I think the army supply just tells the entire story, doesn't it? A couple of Spore Crawlers do get panic made by this third base location, but even then, I'm not convinced it's going to be enough.
Yeah, exactly. We shall see here as, again, Bistork is trying to find an angle in. He will take a couple of losses in doing so, but picks up another Corruptor.
Prismatic Alignment is utilized once more. Spore Crawlers drop like flies, and the Corruptors aren't far behind.
Exactly. Void Rays go brr as they just take out everything in their path. GG gets called, and Bistork ties up the series.
Sideways 1-1.
GG.
He didn't even need Tempest.
Oh god, that was a great game there for Bistork.
Yeah, you can tell how angry he was that he was forced to not make Tempest that game.
I'm shaking my head, Yaku. You know, I'm gonna message Bistork right now, and he's gonna tell me what. I never intended to make Tempest, mate.
Well, you know what he's gonna tell you? He's gonna tell you Cristiano got to him with the King Cobra cult.
Oh no. Funada Cristiano in the chat. But here we go. We're going to be diving into our ace match, game number 3 of this best of 3 series, and I'm very curious to see what the map is going to be.
Yeah, we've already had Hardwire. We've already had Bride of Altares. I feel like, yeah, good way to round that all off. Like, Blackburn. Another gold base map.
Blackburn would be nice. I imagine Curious Minds was vetoed. Maybe 2,000 atmospheres? Maybe? I'd be shocked if we end up on Berlingrad, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Wait, we had to. Yeah, okay, 2,000 atmospheres was Bistork versus Asher 1. Okay. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, it's all good, it's all good. Ooh, and it's the other one. It's the largest map in the map pool.
So we're gonna get a 5-minute game from players.
Let's go.
Yes, we are getting into Nova Romanticide, as I like to call it, otherwise known, translated as Glittering Ashes.
Goddamn. But yes, here we go. We're going to be finding out which one of our players will advance on to the next round, where, of course, the shark himself, Demi, is waiting.
Yeah, he's already had a couple of appetizers here. Taking out Ares 2-0, taking out Pleiades 2-0, otherwise known as Justice Esther, the Slayer of Mio Micah. And now he's waiting for his main course. It is going to be something a little spicy from Hong Kong. But who's it going to be? Will it be a pink Protoss player spotting here in the top right-hand corner map, all the way in the top right-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE? He has typically been considered the second best player from Hong Kong, but that may very well change with just one more map here. He is going to be representing Juggernaut Gaming. He is Bistork.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the best player in all of Hong Kong. Or is he? Also representing Juggernauts, it is GogojOey.
Everything's up in the air.
It's up in the air. The crown for Hong Kong is up for grabs here. Who's going to be the king from that region? We'll find out. Again, Bistork was looking pretty good in game 2. Oh! Almost is his probe. And
yeah,
scouts.
Almost gets surrounded, but does back away.
Oh, mates. Look what we have here.
The economic cannon rush. I love it.
Aye. Here we go. So the probe is going to be going here to the natural. He is going to be throwing down some pylons. Thankfully, GogojOey did keep an overlord here above his natural, but the pylons will still go down. And it looks like GogojOey isn't certain that there's a big commitment into a cannon rush here.
Yeah, there's actually a massive wall off. I mean, 4 pylons get thrown down already, though.
Yeah, but you know what? They don't all have to finish. As there we go. We do see them cancelled, and we just need 1 cannon to finish up to cancel this base. And ooh,
walls that drone in. Funnily enough, that's mostly just to keep more drones from getting on top of that cannon, but also does a good job of just walling off that cannon that's already there. Funnily enough, probe gets surrounded, but will be able to mineral walk out.
That it will. The creep is being spread. It looks like we need to see a cancel. We need to see it. We do not see a cancel. That is a kill on the second cannon.
1 kill or 2 kills? Okay, just 1 kill. The other one gets cancelled in time, thankfully enough. The cannon does pop out, and it will be enough to prevent mining from happening here in this base, but now the queen is out, mate. Spine Crawler finishes up.
Exactly, like GogojOey,
get rid of this.
Yeah, he will be able to clean this up, but as you were saying, it does deal a decent amount of damage. Not the most damage that Bistork would have wanted, though. Again, he wanted to try and force a cancel on this base, but again, at least it does kind of keep GogojOey on 2 bases. By now, he would have wanted to have thrown down a 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the important thing to consider. As over on the other side of the map, GogojOey, I was wondering why GogojOey didn't use his Lings in the defense, and now I know why. Thankfully for Bistork, GogojOey is not 100% committed to this. He just wanted to break through and get a bit of a scout. Already dealing a lot of damage, though, delaying Warp Gate for so long. Exactly.
That was a brutal kill on that pylon. Thankfully, you know, we don't need Warp Gate. We were going for a Stargate first anyway. But yeah, that was some very nice counter damage done there by GogojOey. Bit of a Funada Bistork because, mate, he should have been on top of this wall as soon as possible.
Yeah. Not sure if the Adept was late or if it was there and just not in position. Either way, devastating consequences.
Yeah, exactly, as we do have +1 air attack on the way here for Bistork. He is going to be transitioning into Skytoss, which is the kind of, you know, it's what we would expect. It is the standard transition off of a cannon rush. And yeah, we have to kind of feel around as to where we are at the moment. It does feel like GogojOey did come out a little bit ahead, just because he did kind of get a kill on the cannon earlier and kill a pylon here as well. Like, he's okay.
Yeah. Into the mid-game on relatively even footing. GogojOey throws down a Roach Warren. What are you feeling? Like a Queen March very, very early on, or just a more well-rounder composition for GogojOey?
I understand that GogojOey has been playing a lot recently with Mia Maika, but I feel like Queen walking on Glittering Ashes is suicide. Even for Mia Maika, so we shouldn't see a Queen walk here. We'll see. This feels like more of a safety Roach Warren than anything. I hope so as well. Oh, as the first Oracle does dip in, confirms that, hey, there is no lair, there is a Roach Warren, and he does get a drone kill as well. So Bistork, some decent scouting here. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have another Ling run by.
Yeah, just getting ready, waiting for Bistork to try to break out of his 2 bases and go for a 3rd base. Ling's are already in position to prevent that.
And another big tell that, of course, there isn't going to be a big walk across the map is that we do have a lair on the way here for GogojOey. And I was talking about how, you know, a queen walk wouldn't be great, but, yo, a subway, I wouldn't be opposed to.
Yeah! I'll never forget how well Dark was able to utilize analysis on this map specifically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hoping that's what we see. Meanwhile, Bistork wants to go into Tempest again. Will he go into Tempest, though?
Ooh, I'll be honest. I feel like he should have.
Yeah, exactly.
We were
wanted to.
God damn it, Yaku. We were memeing about it on Pride of Altaris, but I feel like this, kind of like 2000 Atmospheres, because this map is so wide and because there is kind of like a decent amount of dead space, I do feel like going into Tempest wouldn't be the worst thing on this map. But as we see, he's playing a little bit safer.
Yeah, his hand was forced to go into carriers instead.
I'm shaking my head, Yaku. Shaking my head. Oh god, as the Oracle does dip in across the map. Again, this Oracle needs to get in to scout the tech. Unfortunately, he does not. He's still not seen the Spire.
With that honesty, his mineral lines are looking mighty vulnerable. Muralist can still do a lot to outmaneuver the Skytoss army of Bistork, especially when there are these many carriers out.
Yeah, we actually didn't really touch on the Mutas at all last game, because he did make some.
He immediately went for. He did?
Yeah, he made like 3.
He made units that weren't. He made air units that weren't corruptives.
Yeah. I remember seeing them on the production tab. Maybe he canceled them to save gas. I don't know. Or they just died off screen.
They really could have. That's my main thing. It's either. Because I was thinking, I was gonna say I don't remember seeing any Mutalists, but then again, you don't want to trust my memory. I have a feeling that is what you said. They just died immediately to Void Race carriers.
It's very possible, mate. Meanwhile, we do have the carriers immediately going across the map. Ooh. Good transfuses. This Spore does not die.
That was a rapid fire transfuse.
Oh, the Oracle!
Will go down. So yeah, gonna be a lot less scouting information, gonna be a lot of stasis wards. But our stasis wards is the biggest of deals. I would argue you still want to have 1 or 2 just in case there's a Ling or Roach run by. Yeah,
more importantly, just again scouting your opponent, seeing the tech, tagging the army wherever you can. There's so much value to be had in that Oracle, and unfortunately Bistork is still in the dark. He hasn't seen the corruptors, but he can assume, especially because like when you have so many so many queens like that, it typically doesn't mean that you're investing as much into those hydras.
Exactly. So just in case, Bistork is getting a couple of shield batteries.
Oh.
+2 may very well be denied or not.
Oh god, we'll see. He does dive on top of the Void Ray, and he will get the Void Ray for his troubles.
Moving past and fighting through every single one of these interceptors. Was it worth it in the end? We'll see. Bistork is very quickly remaking his Void Ray count.
Yeah, he lost 4 Corruptors for a single Void Ray, so I don't know about that one, mate. Especially because we have 3 Void Rays being pumped out at a time. There is a window here where these Corruptors can actually like power through the army. But if the game goes on longer, he will need Vipers. Oh.
Yeah, so far don't believe he has an infestation pit yet.
Yeah, but you know what? This is gonna be a great fight here for GogojOey because you know his Corruptors are dealing a lot of damage and they're being healed, being transfused by the Queens, but right now they're out of range.
Queens are very far out of range. Prismatic Alignment takes out quite a number of those Corruptors, but the Void Ray count does get shaved off significantly.
God, that it is. I mean, at least the Queens were spotted, so now Bistork is well aware. He's trying to set up defensively at home. He's even making Immortals. That's how desperate he is. Oh god, he has to be careful not to be caught out by these Corruptors.
Now, on the flip side, though, GogojOey does not want to be caught up by the Void Race at all, especially if he fights a little too close to shield battery range. The transfuse is starting to run out, but so are the Void Race.
Yeah, every single Void Ray was picked off. Only carriers are remaining here. Even a random Adept does get taken out. But was that okay? Because, again, that did cost a lot of transfuses from GogojOey.
I feel like that was his major shot, right? He's led up a lot of momentum fighting in that position, so he shouldn't be able to keep this up, but we'll see. He's getting 5th base behind us.
Yeah, that he is. We do see once again the Void Ray is coming out here. They did not activate the prismatic alignment. Another Void Ray gets sniped.
And GogojOey is just continuing to draw the army out of position, and more importantly, keeping this army back at home. I think GogojOey has recognized there. I can't quite end the game yet, so I'm gonna get a 5th base. Hopefully he gets a hive.
Yeah, it looks like GogojOey may just have too much here. He's just been non-stop rallying across the map, and the Void Ray count just has never gotten high enough. He's just been stuck at 3 or 4 Void Rays this entire time. Maybe he can finally break through, especially now that he's fighting within shield battery range and overcharge.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? The army does kind of favor GogojOey, but only if they fight in a neutral position. With all these shield batteries, it's going to be a very tough nut to crack.
Oh god, and just like that, overcharge is popped. The Void Ray stands strong. Every single queen falls. And Bistork, he was down like 60 supply, and he almost just evened it up.
He very much did.
Jesus.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, he might as well have.
Oh god, but I think maybe he's overextending. Mate, he just ran into another reinforcement group of corruptors. Uh-oh.
Yeah, what did we say? That GogojOey has a better army if they fight in neutral territory? Well, this is about as neutral as you can get.
I think this is it, mate. Every single Void Ray got taken out. Now so will all of these carriers. Bistork, he had a great fight here defensively at home. He did not have to go out across the map.
I mean, was he aware of the bases? Maybe he was thinking that getting a 4th base himself would take too long. He needs to do that and also deal some damage across the map. Now he's working on getting the 4th base as GogojOey saturates his 5th and works on a infestation pit.
Yeah, I think Bistork thought GogojOey was a little bit more all-in, so he's like, oh, he's not going to have reinforcements behind this. I'll be fine. Let's go. Unfortunately, there was, again, a massive wave of corruptors being spawned in, and just like that, Bistork lost any momentum that he had. And now, like, GogojOey is about to be maxed out, man.
Like so. He's about to be maxed out. He's about to hit across the map.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that, Void Ray after Void Ray do get taken out by these corruptors. Only 2 carriers remaining here. It's not going to be enough. It's going to take a while for these queens to really join the battle, but we'll see if they even make it here by the time the game ends, because Bistork will not get a 4th base.
That he will not at all.
Exactly.
Queens are getting in position. They have a little bit of transfuse energy on them, but that's probably the least of Bistork's concerns. All these carriers are still up in the air. Battery overcharge does get popped.
Yeah.
Will deter GogojOey for now.
Yeah, it does keep Bistork alive a little bit longer here, but the 4th base did get taken out. And again, all that GogojOey has to do is wait out that overcharge, then dip in and just one-shot all the carriers.
Speaking of battery overcharge running out.
It does run out in the end. GogojOey hasn't pulled the trigger yet. His queens are getting cleaned up by these zealots. So again, Bistork is trading incredibly efficiently with what little he has. But, oh god, the corruptors are diving in, mate.
Production.
God.
Stargate does not get taken out, but I tell you what, the Void Rays and the carriers will, because this draws the entire Skytoss army out of position, out of shield battery range. And even with the shield batteries, there are enough corruptors now to start one-shotting them.
Oh yeah, exactly. They one-shot every single Void Ray, 2-shot the carriers, GG gets called, and GogojOey takes the series 2-1.
Very well played there. I do feel like this was probably one of the closest series we've seen from GogojOey versus Bistork, but in the end, GogojOey did just have that little that little extra edge to him, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, like Bistork, he was doing a really good job, like defending there, you know, for a while. But again, just got a little bit overconfident, a little bit over eager. You gotta slow things down when you're going Skytals like that. And GogojOey was able to come out on top in the end.
That he did, and with it, he will be not going up against a Protoss player.
Mhm.
In fact, doesn't have a potential Protoss player for quite some time, because now he's going up against Demi
Mm-hmm.
in the upper bracket finals. Or the winners finals, if you want to call it that.
Yep. Upper bracket finals, winners finals, both do mean the same thing, and that's exactly what we are going to be getting into. Meanwhile, Bistork gets knocked down, and he will be facing Mio Micah in the losers bracket.
Oh, so early on. Once again, I'm terrified for Mio. I am terrified for Mio Micah.
Oh, God. That's brutal, mate.
If there was ever a best of number that Bistork excels in, it is without a doubt best of 1.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, oh god, that's going to be a juicy game between the two of them. Unfortunately, it's going to be off stream. You know, we are going to be focusing on Demi versus GogojOey, but Bistork versus Mio Micah, oh god, that's spicy, mate.